Okay, good evening and welcome to our next edition of Dead Ends. We hope everybody is okay today. So slight change in proceedings tonight, so I'll let CJ explain why. But what we're going to be talking about tonight is where are we going in this field? Are we all on a similar path? Are we going round in circles? Do we feel deflated by recent COVID events? And has it made you assess your contribution? And can we all work together, or should we split the field into different categories? And also tonight, we're going to be discussing Richard Case with regards to his recent, his recent post in Bristol News. So that will be exciting. How are you this evening, CJ?
Oh, I'm fine. Thank you, Carrie. Not been too good the last couple of weeks, but getting there at the moment. And to be quite honest, it's just been one of them days.
Fantastic. And as you can all see, we've got Steve and Dally with us today. All right, Steve?
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be a bit more enthusiastic than that, mate. Come on.
Fuck off, Steve. So, CJ, do you want to explain why there's been a change in the show this evening?
Yeah, I'll be happy to. Listen, guys, if you're tuning in to, because we were going to do the online training courses with Dr. Cal Cooper and Kev Kerr from Paranormal, we've had to change that date because obviously Cal Cooper is very, very busy. He does do filming. So he couldn't make today. So what we've done is we've changed the format a little bit. So we're going to be coming, I believe it's the 19th of May. Yep. That we're actually going to be broadcasting that show. And that will be a really worthwhile show to actually come in and look, because the wealth of knowledge that'll be there about training and stuff will be absolutely brilliant. But that's the reason why we've actually changed the format. And as Kelly said, we're talking about really Groundhog Day today. So, yeah, what a title, isn't it? Yeah, going round. We don't seem to be going anywhere, do we? To be quite honest, in this paranormal field. Yep. So, with the dead enders coming in, you know what the score is. You know our own. Keep it respectful. But I mean, this is a friendly little show and a friendly little chat tonight. So did I say chat tonight or chat?
Chat, yeah.
I did say chat, didn't I? Chat. So if you want to come in and have a say, feel free. Let's have your views and your opinions on it, and come and let us know what your thoughts are. Whether you think the paranormal is stagnant, or is there divisions? Is there different sorts of fractions which are appearing? You know, you come and let us know what you want to talk about. Okay. So Kelly, back over to you. Hi, Stephen.
Yeah. So it's a really difficult one this evening because obviously we were all ready to have that amazing chat around courses, online paranormal courses, and got thrown to the wind a little bit there. But so I don't know.
Can we not talk about wind, please? If it's
yeah. Might explain that a little bit more later. Yeah. So I just want to apologise if I cough at all throughout tonight's show. I'm getting over having the first COVID jab, and although I'm all right in myself now, much better today than I have been, I've still got kind of a tight chest and a bit of a cough, so I do apologise about that. So anyway, jumping straight in, Jane Rowley says, nothing like a friendly chat you can share with friends.
Listen, you know what I'm like, guys. I've got a bad belly tonight, so just look out. You might hear some real strange noises coming up as well.
And Faye Louise Brooks says she's only here to annoy Steve all evening. We like that. Emma Louise Jones. What about these teams using clickbait to get viewers? In my opinion, it's wrong. Yeah, you know, there is a lot of clickbait titles out there. We have spoken about these, haven't we?
Yeah, a lot of them. Kelly, can I just say, I want to give a shout out to somebody that's come into the chat room, somebody that I know from the States. It's Kenny Biddle from his Skeptical Bar. Hiya, Kenny. Glad to see you come and join us. So we would like to get you on the show one day to have a little chat with you. So maybe I'll get in contact with you afterwards. But thanks for coming in, Kenny.
Absolutely. So yeah, what do you think about all this clickbait stuff then, CJ? Does it bore your piss that much, or?
No, to be quite honest with you, clickbait. I mean, it's been used for ages, hasn't it? Let's be quite honest. They'll put up a title to attract people to go down. If you just say, "I'm doing a paranormal investigation," I'll watch it because it's just a paranormal investigation. But when you see these silly clickbait sort of titles, no, it doesn't attract me at all. I mean, attacked by the killer clowns or words like that, or I'm like, what, really? I mean, it wouldn't attract me to come and watch it. Although I'd watch it for the comedy side of it, if I'm honest.
Do you know what? I am a bit scared about
very amusing, actually, that one. I've got to admit, that was funny.
It's a bit scary, though, isn't it? To think there's killer clowns out there. I mean,
fair due. I mean, you've got to come up and when they're doing these investigations, some of the teams, and to be fair to them, they're trying to attract people to come and watch them, so they're going to come out with titles. It's just some of them you can really, if you sit back, you could have a little giggle over, like, and think, oh, come on, you could have come up with something better than that. So it's not knocking them. But it's just saying that one or two have been rather funny, to be quite honest with you.
Well, Rachel George says, "Oh my God, poltergeist chased me onto dead ends so I could smoke and burn the place down before the police give me 1 million subscribers." That's a great clickbait title right there.
That is a good one. That is a good one. Don't forget, guys, you can come and join us if you want. The link is being put up by our mods, our fantastic mods. They are in the house and they are monitoring as well. Hello, Neil. Hi, Neil. I see Neil's come in.
100%. Nanny Lynn says...
sorry.
Oh, that's fine. You crack on.
I'm just waiting for the comment. It was about somebody tagging herself in that they visited Jurassic Park. I'm just waiting for that one of these days. It's some sort of fucking dinosaur or something.
Yeah.
They're fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, I think there has been. Hasn't there been one put up about dinosaurs?
I don't know.
You just can't trust this bloody field, can you? Let's be honest.
The thing is, though, when we look at the difference between a paranormal investigation, right, and an entertainment team, for me personally, I think there's some teams out there that are just entertainment. So when they use these clickbait titles, I just laugh, but then that's because I don't see them personally as professionals within the field or experienced within the field, whatever you want to call it. I don't take them seriously because I think it's just for entertainment purposes.
Well, it is when you think about it, isn't it? It is for entertainment. This is why I was saying about the Groundhog Day, with where are we going within the field? Because there seems to be different factions over the last, I would say, 2-3 years that have appeared where you've got the entertainment, and there's nothing wrong with the entertainment side of it if people want to do that. But you've also then got the serious investigators, you've got the skeptical investigators, you've got the academic type of investigator, the research type. There's so many out there, and is that what the problem is? Is it that we're not really working together? I don't know.
Let's invite Mike on because he's waiting to come in. So, Mike, 3, 2, 1. Hi, Mike. How are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm very well, thanks,
Yeah, just a quick one. Talking about boiling piss. Something that happened the other day made me laugh, and I don't think many people picked up on it. But these little robots that all the team seems to be using.
Yeah.
You say about stagnant things, just everyone's copying each other. So it's like watching each other's lives. They're going to the same venues. They're doing the same, somebody in the industry, I don't want to mention the name because I don't want to cause drama, but somebody who's a paranormal investigator who's, I think he's a neurologist or a scientist, turned around on his live last week and said that the robots have been absolutely debunked now. They are not holding any weight in the paranormal industry, but about 3 or 4 teams, which I think are very, very other teams, but very close with that person, are still using the robots. And I find that a little bit bizarre, because if it's been completely debunked, why waste our time as viewers if it's not actually holding any weight in the industry?
Mike, are you talking about the like phone apps and stuff like that, similar stuff to that?
Well, I don't like those anyway, because I mean they're just sound banks. Let's be honest. But but the robot, I think they're the ones that everyone says about having remote controls, which I can say they don't, because my little nephew has them, and they don't cover them.
Yeah.
But when somebody who's very into computer technology and science and everything, so to speak, and says it's absolutely been debunked, I kind of listen to that and think, yeah, if you've got credentials after your name, so why are all the other teams that you're very close with still using robots if they've been debunked?
Maybe are they entertainment teams, would you say, rather than like sort of people that do what I class as hobbyist paranormal investigations?
I think if you called them entertainment teams, I think they'd probably go mental at you, because they will say that what you see is real and it's all factual. And do you know what I mean? If you call them an entertainment team, you're going to be in trouble, because you're putting them apparently in the same category as something like Most Haunted, even though I think there is similarities there. But
it's very.
I find it really, really bizarre, very, very strange why they would go ahead and still, do that. And using the same venues, because you say about stagnant, it is getting to that point now where a team goes somewhere, you tune in to watch another one of your teams that you enjoy, and they're in the same place using the same things, and it's kind of like, can't you maybe find somewhere different, and maybe somewhere that actually you're allowed to go in, rather than these dangerous places where things could fall down and kill them? We're not tuning in for that, are we?
Yeah, and most of the time as well, when you see them all turning up together, they end up fighting. Or they end up chasing each other out, and that is a little bit annoying at times, to be honest.
Yeah, but I don't know. It is getting a little bit. It's getting a bit boring now. I think people are tuning out. I've noticed a lot of numbers on some of the lives and that are really reducing now. Maybe that's because they're blocking 50% of them. Who knows? But
True.
Algorithms.
Anyway, just wanted to put that in there.
Sometimes I feel that the same teams. The same teams will go out 5 or 6 times a week, and it gets very repetitive. I know. I mean, I can't be arsed watching the same people 3 or 4 times a week, never mind 5 and 6. So it's
but it's
oversaturation, I think. Sometimes.
Do you find as well? I mean, maybe I'm not a skeptic. I am more leaning towards the believer. But don't you find it bizarre as well? Like some teams will go in a venue and they'll mention like a name of somebody that was very much involved in that venue in the history. But then suddenly a team will go in a week later and straight away they're asking for that name. It's like they're kind of researching the team that's gone in there, already said the name. And then they're saying, yes, I can see that character. I can see that person who hung that person. It's like, well, hang on, someone said they picked up on that last week. Are they seeing the same thing, or are they just maybe looking at what other groups are saying and kind of almost carrying the story on? Because sometimes it does it makes a believer like me kind of become even more of a disbeliever, which is kind of weird because we tune in to be persuaded.
I think, Mike, listening to you, I think what's happened is you've just grown within the paranormal field, and I think you're going in a completely different direction to people that stay stagnant, and that's absolutely healthy. I am exactly where you are as well. I don't do any research anymore before I go somewhere, because I feel it's not going to benefit me in any way, shape or form, because I'm going to go there expecting a Mary, and every noise I hear is going to be Mary in my head. So I think you've picked up on a lot by the sounds of it, and I think you're just going down a different path with it now.
But when you say research, sorry, I didn't mean research as in the history of the building. I meant research like what another group had gone in and done and names they'd said and used.
Yeah, which is essentially what most paranormal teams in the early days generally tend to do. They watch other teams and they read their their reports after they've been somewhere, rather than doing extensive research, which is very time consuming. It's you can't find what you're looking for on Google. You need to be going down a different route if you want to do proper research on a building.
Yeah, good point. Yeah.
Maybe. I think people, when we go investigating as well, I think the equipment, there has to be a knowledge of the equipment you're using, what would cause interference, what doesn't cause interference, what you could use, what you couldn't use. It's when I've seen some of these groups that they've gone out and they never, they're walking around with their phones with the K2s, and they're going crazy because K2's going off. Well, that's because it's the mobile phone. And at the end of the day, there is some equipment you can use. Best bit of kit I can ever recommend to people is eyes and ears, I'm sorry to say. And even they can fool you at times.
Do you know what, CJ? You just reminded me of something that I saw months ago now. I don't know who it was, but there was somebody on YouTube that I don't even think I follow. I think it came up as a suggestion. And he completely debunked, apparently, the frequency of... what do you call the voice thing when you record on a dictaphone? EVP.
Yeah.
EVPs.
Yeah, saying that they only speak on a certain frequency, which means it's a very slow record. And he actually got a phone, a dictaphone there and then and recorded. And when he did, all he did was just like rubbed his feet on the carpet, which was about 3 foot away from it on the desk, turned it on, and it sounded like it was actually speaking and saying something. And I was thinking, well, why? I mean, if it really does not pick anything and it changed it all, then somebody that's holding one or even putting it on a ledge, which I like they do that now because they're not rubbing it anymore like I think one team was doing, they could just very lightly under their breath maybe blow air or maybe just slap their gums or something, and it's going to make a sound that's going to sound like something, and half the time you hear it and you're like, that's not what I'm hearing.
Do you know the most common one is nose whistles, where people whistle through their nose.
Oh, really?
And they don't realize that they've done it. And recently on a number of investigations, I've actually sat back and not said to things, but I've actually heard the whistling, and so has Corinne. And we both looked at each other, and we dawned on us instantly that's a nose whistle. That's somebody breathing through their nose. But if somebody that had an EVP recorder, they'd probably say somebody's actually, whistling back to them, trying to get their attention. And that's what you've got to look out for.
And when you say that, it straight away, it's almost like you bash your head against the wall and think, wow, am I that stupid? I never thought that. I remember years ago, there was a medium that worked on Most Haunted before they got like really big. And they had a fallout because I think they wanted them to read the history before they went in. But this medium was like, no, I go in cold and I pick up what I pick up. And he reckons that Yvette's husband used to be able to put his second to biggest toe over his big toe and click it down in his stow till caps. Hence why the boom always went down to the floorboard, and it was the knocking for two, knocking for one. He reckons it was his toe. And apparently Cole absolutely agreed to that and admitted to it. And I was like, no way. But now when you look back on it and watch it and the boom goes down, it's always next to Cole's foot.
Oh, listen, Mike, it's great to have you on again.
Well, thanks for having us on.
Come back on anytime you like, my darling. All right.
Thank you, lovely people. And thanks for keeping it real. And sorry about all the crap that you guys get online because you do not deserve it.
Don't worry.
At the end of the day, it's part and parcel. We've got a gentleman that's just coming on in a minute. And let me tell you, he's taken a lot of crap himself for what his views have been.
Exactly. And if you don't like it, don't watch. Take your own time, teams.
Exactly.
Take care.
See you later, Mike.
Thank you.
Bye.
Cheers. Bye.
Very interesting. Hi, Kenny. How are you?
Kenny's in the house.
I'm good. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we see you fine.
All right, good. I'm on the down low because I'm at work and I probably shouldn't be doing this, but you know what? I wanted to come on and say hi.
Hey, listen, we won't say anything, so you're all right.
All right. I'm sure your thousands of followers won't rat me out.
No, they won't. They won't. It's good to see you on, to be quite honest. It's one of my missions was to get you actually on this show. I was going to contact you and say, Ken, come on over here and talk about your show that you do in the States, because I think I watch your show And to be quite honest with it, I would recommend anybody to get on there and see Kenny's show, because it's just brilliant. And that's not just saying it; it is brilliant.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It's like you said, I do get a lot of slack. I do get a lot of flack from people, but you know what? It is what it is. And just like the guy said, if you don't like it, move on.
Move on.
I'm not making you watch.
But sometimes some of it is not worth it. It doesn't warrant the abuse that people do get. We've had it because we will address issues, and sometimes you'll upset people, as you know, that when you're bringing something to the forehead and say, hey, this is unacceptable, and at the end of the day we don't agree with it, and we let our dead enders come on and actually have their say as well, because this show is about them, and it's about actually getting out there what the paranormal is really like, and at the end of the day, if you don't like it, just don't watch the show. It's simple. But people do it. They do it to annoy you,
Yeah, and you're going to get that, I mean,
I'm just guilty by association.
I'm just guilty.
I put skeptic right in the title of my show, so already people are going to tune in and say, what's this guy about? Oh, I can't wait to take him on. And the show is not about that. It's more or less a discussion. We drink. It's a bar, so we drink. We have conversation, and that's what the idea is. We have a conversation, even if we don't agree. It doesn't matter. Like, we're talking about it, and as you mentioned, if you bring up topics that are like taboo, or people don't want to talk about it, but you know what, you need to. You need to talk about topics, and if they're hard to talk about, that's even more important to talk about. Get it out there, get the discussion going, and maybe you're doing something wrong. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. And you're not going to know who's doing what wrong if you don't talk about it.
Yeah, exactly. And that is the point. It's about debate, and it's about actually, okay, if you don't agree with somebody, you can have a conversation about it, but you don't have to agree, but you can agree to disagree, if that makes any sense, But there's just far too much of this where, at the end of the day, they're attacking me. They're being attacked because they've done something wrong themselves, or they've created the environment for somebody to say, hey, that's not right. Do you know what I mean? Like, we've got a bugbear about abandoned buildings being busted open or whatever and mistreated. In fact, we've got a segment coming up in a little bit with a newspaper article where people have been going into graveyards and whatever. I mean, if they want to do that, that's fine. But buildings, they're owned by people. And at the end of the day, that's somebody's property. You don't have a right to go in there unless you've got permission to go in there. So if you do a show about that, you suddenly then get attacked because you're raising that as an issue. But it is an issue, and it's a big issue, because we need to protect the venues and these places.
We've had some stories here in the States where ghost hunters, and that's how they were described. So ghost hunters broke into a place, an abandoned building, and actually burned it down because they had heard stories about the ghosts in there, and they were trying to exercise it or something like that. And instead of putting in like an exercise tape and doing some squats, they decided to start a fire and save the place. And they actually burnt down historical locations. So I hear that often, and it's sad. Yeah. It's sad. And
it is very sad.
You're talking about, like, this is someone's property. It's not your property. You don't have a right to go on it. I don't give a shit if you're. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know if you're.
That's fine.
No, we don't.
I get passionate about this.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit if you do a YouTube channel and this is what you do for a living and whatever. It doesn't matter unless you get permission. Stay out of places that you don't belong.
Yeah.
And you can cause not only you burn down places, but it's potential to either harm or kill someone on your team. Because they're closed off for a reason. All right.
Yeah.
So if you go through the floor and you die, it's no one's fault but your own.
And not only that, what grates me the most is you know, some teams are more than happy to just wander into what they class as an abandoned building, no homework, don't understand who the owners are, not really interested who the owners are. So they'll just wander in because the door's open. So does that mean if I went down the shop quick, down to the co-op to get a loaf of bread and I left my back door open, I can expect to find ghost hunters in my house when I get home?
Well, we haven't come across that yet, but now you've put it out there, probably it'll happen.
But do you know what I mean? Just because a place appears abandoned doesn't mean that nobody cares about it.
Box.
Sorry, Steve. Oh, Steve's frozen by the look of it. Are you there, Steve?
I'm saying at some point she'll come back home and she'll find me in her kitchen. I'm here.
I bet you stay. You would have travelled down from Scotland.
Yeah.
Ah, Kenny, do you know, you make perfect sense, and that's why I enjoy watching you as well.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And I mean, I don't try to preach to people unless they want to. If they want to hear what I have to say, then by all means, come on over and hang out. But sometimes you have to speak up, you know, if you see something wrong like that. If somebody's in a crowd and they're like, oh, yeah, we just broke into this place. Well, I'm going to say something because that looks bad for all of us. Even though I'm on the skeptical side, it still looks bad on me too because I'm part of this, you know? And if we're a community, we have to police the community. We have to look out for each other. Yeah. No matter what side of the fence you believe in, you still have to look out for each other and make sure, you know, some people out there aren't trespassing, aren't committing crimes. You know, under the guise of we're ghost hunters or we're paranormal investigators. Yeah. Like, that's not a real title. You gave it to yourself, man. Come on.
Well, that's the reason why I love the show and why I watch. I know you're on late at night because obviously the time difference, but it's worth actually watching because what I like about the show is even if you have a guest on, and you don't agree with the guest, you don't agree, you know, and that's what the way it should be. They don't go crazy because you're not agreeing with them, but you do your homework, you know. So what you're talking about, you're actually talking about your shit. You know your stuff, so you can go on and say to them, you know, and challenge them, and that's what I love about the show.
Yeah.
You just had I just had Jason Hawes on from the Ghost Hunters, and I get one of the first things we mentioned in the beginning was that people don't know that we've been friends for like 20 years. Like we've known each other since right before the Ghost Hunters show aired when they were filming. So we knew each other, and he knew straight up. Like I was going to ask him hard questions, and I'm not shying away. I'm not going to, you know, oh, we're buddies, so I'm going to treat you good, you know, and make sure I don't embarrass you. No, if there's a question I have, especially, you know, with Collargate, I'm going to ask the freaking question. And we did fight. We did argue. We didn't argue. We disagreed on a few things.
You agreed to disagree on a number of things. I mean, I remember when he came over here to do a show. I can't remember what the show was. Kelly, can you remember it when it was on? They were taking celebrities around Woodchester Mansion.
It's something like I'm a celebrity.
Hotel. It was Hotel. I felt sorry for him there because they put him with Katie Price. And let's be honest, our Katie Price, she's one in a million. If you know who Katie Price is. The look on that poor bloke's face, I was sat there watching that. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was great. But I was more looking at his face and the disbelief in his eyes with what was coming in, because it's very different over here to what it is in the States when you do things like that. You know, here it is different. Why, I don't know, but there is a slight little difference. And it was quite funny to see him, but I will admit I didn't actually see that show, and I am planning to go and watch it if it's on a rerun because I was ill at the time. But yeah, no, it's good, really good,
awesome.
Well, listen,
I won't keep you too much longer. Can I plug real quick?
Carry on.
So this Friday night in the States at 9 p.m. Eastern time, I'm actually having Dustin Dean on, and he is a pretty famous mentalist. And we're going to talk about psychics and mentalism, how the two overlap. We're going to talk about a lot of tricks. He does a lot of TikTok videos where he sees like these magical abilities people do, and he replicates them, and he shows you exactly how it's done, and it's amazing stuff. So if you're available, 9 p.m. Eastern, I don't know what time that is for you guys.
I think over here we get it round about, I think, either 10 or 11 o'clock. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that, but we'll look that up.
All right.
Do me a favor, Kenny. Do me a favor. Just type that into the comment box with a link to your page. All right.
Yeah.
I'll do that.
Because I know we're gonna get asked where that is and stuff. So just keep typing it in.
Okay. I appreciate you guys let me come on for a minute.
No problem, Kenny. Great to have you.
All right. Take it easy.
Cheers, Kenny. Bye, mate.
Bye.
Oh, what a little star, bless his heart.
That was a surprise. I didn't know he was coming on, and I'm so chuffed that he did come on, to be quite honest, because Kenny's a great
one. Isn't
it? Sorry? You've got a bad internet.
I think you guys can hear me okay? The signal went a bit.
Yeah, you're just a bit delayed, so we kind of have to wait a couple of seconds after you've spoken. So, Kerry Avenel, I got a good question. What's your thoughts, Kelly and CJ, on people doing online courses and being certified as an expert? Well, we are running a show about that on the 19th of May, so we won't bore you with what we think now. We'll bore you with what we think on the 19th of May. So feel free to...
and as we said, we've got Dr. Carl Cooper on there as well, and Kev Kerr from Pararationalized. So it'll be a good one for that, to be quite honest.
Absolutely. Right. Okay. So let's have a look. I'm going to screen share now, guys, in the chat room. I don't know whether any of you have seen this yet, but it's a great write-up. There we go. So it's Bristol Live, and it's paranormal researchers' message to ghost hunters who trespass at graveyards and spooky buildings. So Mr. Richard Case has obviously got in touch with Bristol Live and shared his thoughts on what he feels. So to be fair, sounds a little bit like no different to how Kenny just described it there. He's raising concerns about safety as well as the potential impact on friends and family of patients who've died at a hospital. And he also goes in to talk about graveyards as well. So he says, I believe there are certain areas that you don't touch for ethical reasons. Graveyards are a no for me. I work with many churches trying to stop people from going into their graveyards. There's been a lot of people trespassing in Arnosvale Cemetery to ghost hunt and live streaming it, which is not really acceptable for families of people buried there. What do you guys think on that? What's your thoughts, Steve?
I think it's a very good article. Every point he makes is valid. I've got him on Facebook. I've not had the chance to speak to Richard yet, but I'm looking forward to it because he does post a lot of good points and a lot of good views, and I totally agree with everything he said. So,
yeah, Richard's a good guy.
Yeah, he really is.
Yeah, he's a good guy. It's one of the reasons why we thought we'll put this article up, because he does raise not just one, but a number of different points in there, really, to be quite honest with you. But graveyards, I mean, I've got to be quite honest. I've gone to one particular church that, what they call? Maybe some of the dead enders might be able to help me out here. Tell me what it is. Is it disconsecrated when a church is no longer a church, or a churchyard is no longer a churchyard? I'm not sure what you call it. Is it it's some word that they use. I've been in one of those where a church used to be a church, but it's no longer a church, and the same with the churchyard. That was many, 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 many years ago when I first started out. But I think a lot of people have gone into churchyards because they're easily accessible. But I think it's a valid point that, at that time I didn't stop to think of, people, families being buried in that. So I admit, I put my hands up to that. You know, that was right at the beginning, many, many years ago when I'd done that. But I haven't done them since. And I don't think I would want to do them, really, to be quite honest. I think the only one I've actually have gone and visited is when I've been up the Skirrid Inn, because there's a church just up the road and there's a family that are buried there. They used to own the Skirrid. And what myself and my mate done, when we go up there, we always go up to the grave and we always pay our respects. And funny enough, her name's Fanny. And her husband was Dick. It's from that Almost Haunted. But it's true. Yeah. You know, Fanny loves Dick. Yeah, but they were real people. But we go up and pay our respects up there. Always leave a little something there for, you know, as respect, because we go down investigating the Skirrid. And, you know, so, yeah, it does happen. But, I mean, how can you stop people going into churchyards investigating this without locking the gates?
This is true.
You know, that's the problem.
I don't think most people would have an issue with investigating graveyards. I think what I'm reading into this more so is people doing lives on there. So there might be recent graves, and if you're not aware of, you know, of if your surroundings and what you're doing, and it's just for likes, follows, money, whatever, you know, I don't think I would enjoy seeing one of my loved ones' recent graves on YouTube. I think it would be extremely upsetting. And especially, what does that do to somebody if they did get what they class as paranormal activity in the way of a K2 flashing or a cat ball or one of these robots? I don't know. I just think, look, I hold my hands up, done it in the past. I'm not going to lie. I've been to loads of graveyards in my infancy, probably in the first sort of 8 years of investigating. It's an easy place to get to. It doesn't cost you any money. It's full of people laid to rest. You automatically presume it's going to be somewhere that's going to be haunted. What do you think, Steve?
If it's an active graveyard that's currently, like, if I was to die today and get buried, I could be buried there tomorrow. I don't agree with it, but there is one I do investigate, and it's called Loudon Kirk, and it's not been used, I think, as an actual cemetery for like 120 years. And I do go up there because there is a lot of history around the area, because it's but the thing is, I remember the video that I did live CG, I got the Robert the Bruce crew. The area around about here is quite, you know, it's attached to that kind of era. So that graveyard where that was actually, Robert the Bruce used that as a camping ground when he was doing the Battle of Loudon Hill. So there's a lot of history in the area, and that's what I quite like about it. But if it was actually an active graveyard, I wouldn't do it. No.
Yeah, well, like I said, I'm more than happy to hold my hands up and say I have done it. As I said to Mike earlier, I think we all just grow and go on a different path. So now, would I do a graveyard with really, really old graves? Yeah, probably. But then I don't enjoy outside investigations as much as I do inside ones, to be honest. For me, it's just too much noise pollution and things that I can't control.
Kelly, could you just put up Jane Rowley's post, please?
Yeah.
Because it's a valid point, actually, funny enough. The HS2 is now exhuming 3,000 bodies from another graveyard because, where are these? You know, that's wrong, to be quite honest, just as much.
Yeah. Wow. She says, I read an article today about HS2 now exhuming 3,000 bodies from another graveyard. I think this does not help to keep people out of graveyards, as it just displays complete disrespect for the dead. I know there is an opportunity to find out about people buried there, but it suggests open season to disrespecting graveyards. Absolutely.
I think that's a valid point. Thanks, Jane, for pointing that out. That's appreciated.
Yeah, and Drew Drury says, I think if someone is investigating a graveyard to find out a person's story, that's okay, I think. But if going to be disrespectful or taunting them, then it's a big fat no. Again, I just think, I don't know about you two, but for me, I wouldn't do it because you don't know how recent the graves are that you're about to shove on your life for, you know, a matter of, I don't know, however many followers you've got or not. I don't know. I think I've got, and I'm going to say it, I've got a little bit more respect, to be honest, for myself and for people that may cause upset too.
See, I can remember I get invited to Liverpool once. It was this surprise ghost hunt, and don't get me wrong, there's some fun in that. And I remember I didn't go, and I got a message like 2 hours later, like, you'll be glad you didn't go because they went looking for the ghost of Cilla Black in a cemetery in Liverpool.
Oh, really?
No.
Oh.
And see, when I got that text message, the tears were streaming down my face. I was like, oh my God, I'm so glad I didn't drive 4 hours to Liverpool just for that. And if Mandy's was on, she'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Because I got a text message saying you'll be glad you didn't fucking come because it's terrible. So it was like, it was a surprise. Funny enough, it was a surprise ghost hunt. It was a ghost of Cilla Black. So, well, you look at stupid things like that, but at the same time, I'm with you, Kelly. I've told you, when you're investigating a graveyard, you have to be respectful.
But at the end of the day, it's up in Edinburgh. You've got that. What's it called? The graveyard up there, like Greyfriars, where they arrange, and they take ghost hunters into there. And, you can do investigations in there, I believe. And I think it's run by an association. But, maybe the money that is raised there goes on to the upkeep of the graveyard. Maybe, I don't know. That's how they've done it. But I suppose there are some out there that you can do like that, But I think basically this is talking about the church down the road. Do you know what I mean? That's the sort of thing I think is really.
When you guys come up to Scotland, I'll take you and show you Greyfriars. Greyfriars is an amazing place. You'll never have been in a cemetery or a graveyard like this. There's like millions of people buried, and it's just see like where the hill is. You're standing on a hill, and you've just got to realise it's like there's about maybe kind of like 6 or 7 layers of bodies below you. So it's like serene. When you stand there, it's like you take a bit in, you stand still, and just. And it's like you get a bit of respect like from the place. You see the amount of people that's been buried in there. It's insane. It just really is insane just standing there. But that's a place. I mean, I've got a lot of respect for Greyfriars. It's an amazing place to visit.
Well, it's full of history as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
One of our mods has put up actually. I don't know which one it is at the moment, but what about investigating catacombs? How would you feel about that?
Well, I think if it's open and it's hireable.
But some of them are open to the public, aren't they? I mean, the Prague one used to be open at one time to public. Prague. Yeah, I know, but I mean, I'm using that as an excuse, innit? But I mean, I don't know if there is any catacombs which we've got around here. Probably up in some of the big cities there may be. But I mean, not locally around from where I live as such.
Edinburgh's got a form of catacombs, but it's vaults. It's built into the South Bridge. It was basically used for like smuggling and became a kind of seedy underground. I'm not really like kind of bore you with a lot of history. I could talk about that for hours. But I mean, the nearest thing I've seen to catacombs is the Edinburgh vaults, which is one of the scariest places to ever be.
Liz says there's catacombs in Birmingham.
They do in Birmingham, have they? That's interesting. Well, listen, guys. If there anybody in the chat room that wants to come on, just the link is up on there. If you want to have a say, jump on and have a say.
Yeah,
come and have a chat.
So Marie Devi says, so are we saying don't do it if you film it or altogether? I think the choice is yours, darling. It's just an open debate. You do what makes you happy and, I'll do what makes me happy. And do I think any less of people who don't do what I do? No, it's your choice. As long as you're happy with it.
I think it does come down to an individual choice. I mean, if people don't want to do it, then that's fine. If people do want to do it, nothing can stop them. This is how can you stop people going into churchyards?
Well, you can't.
Well, exactly, you can't.
You can't. I mean, look what's happened recently in a certain graveyard. It's been in the newspaper where some kids or sort of teenager type kids went in and graffitied all the graves.
That was
Are we as
shocking.
bad as that?
That was disgusting.
No. Yeah,
that's
it was disgusting.
That was a dick move. That was disgusting.
Yeah. 100%. Right, okay.
Kelly, why don't we ask the guys in the chat room, is there anybody that thinks it's okay to go into and supports going into a graveyard? Flip it.
Yeah. Well, you've just
because well, yeah, exactly. Me in it. Is there anybody in the chat room that feels well, there's nothing wrong in going into a churchyard, maybe an old churchyard or something like that? I'm not talking about the modern ones as such, but the really old ones. If there is anybody there, come on, you're not going to be thing. We'd like to hear your view and your opinion.
Yeah. I mean, like Carol Harding says, yes, the long dead, it's historical, surely, learning a story. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But if that grave, and you were doing a live, was situated like quite close by a fresh grave, then as long as you're not filming that fresh grave live, I don't personally have an issue as long as you're being respectful. I mean, I appreciate there's a lot of bodies underneath, so where you tread, there's probably going to be bodies. Just be respectful and be a bit mindful, and don't forget anybody that's not a paranormal investigator who might be visiting that graveyard at a different time in the evening because they can't get to the graveyard during the day. Think about how those people might feel as well.
Marie's just come back and said, I've gone into the old ones, but definitely wouldn't film it. But that's what it is. It's really it's common sense, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, and I think that's all this is at the end of the day. Look, remember, guys, we're not telling you what to do. We're having an open debate. You guys make your own choices. That's why
I'm trying to encourage you to get in here and come and have a talk. It's a talk.
Yeah.
Just a talk.
Okay, so
I've got a point to make. Something's been boiling my piss in the paranormal this week.
Go on then.
Right, this is my wee rant I was telling you about. It kind of goes back to the last live that we did session. It's to do with live feeds. Now, I've saw some people labeling them interactive ghost hunts. Now, some of these are good, right? Because some of them are like they're taking you in a history lesson for free. But I'm not going to name but I've seen lately there's people sharing them. There's people charging you £10 a head to do interactive ghost hunts at Edinburgh, and I'm like, seriously, you're paying somebody £10 for a Facebook fucking live? It's shocking. It's just money grabbing. It's honestly, I'm standing there, like, couldn't believe it when people were sharing it.
To be quite honest,
I don't know what you guys are thinking of that is, but to me it's shit.
That is a new trend that's happening, isn't it? Really, to be quite honest, it is up and coming. It's one of the things that I have noticed recently that it's on the increase as such. But I mean, £10, it's an awful lot. I have seen
for an interactive ghost.
Yeah. Crazy.
What's interactive about it then? Has anybody in the chat group actually paid to do an interactive ghost hunt? And what was the difference between an interactive ghost hunt and a ghost hunt that you would just watch or pay to watch anyway if you're a subscriber? Let us know in the chat what the difference is. That would be quite interesting. I'm presuming...
one of our dead enders, our mods has come in. Yeah, there's a big one. What about battlefields? World War battlefields. See, there's a huge debate over it, isn't it? If you say about one, does it apply to others as well?
About battlefields, what's the chances? What's the chances, though, realistically, of English battlefields still having bodies in them, though?
Well, let's be quite honest. You go over to France,
but
from
English.
the World War, but even in English, I would say that they're finding graves everywhere. Think about it. I know. Yeah,
but if you didn't know there was a body there, how's that wrong? If you didn't know, a graveyard is a bit bloody obvious. There's going to be bodies there. A battlefield.
Well, I'd done some research a while back because we were looking into an hotel down here up in Pontypool, right? And we discovered something that where I live, obviously going back to the days of the plague and the thing called plague pits, we discovered that a certain area where I live had quite a lot of plague pits. What horrified us was that the council had actually built a housing estate over the top of these plague pits because they didn't realise they were there. So this is what we're saying about, if that can happen, and you could be walking across a battlefield where there could be bodies still there or buried, because that's what they did. They dug big holes and they piled the bodies in, didn't they? The lucky ones got taken home and buried probably in their local churchyards or whatever. But the average poor old peasant that was there with a little spike or something trying to chase down somebody, when he got knocked down, that poor bugger got buried probably where he fell. So yeah, I would say, yeah, there could be.
Yeah, but would you not visit a battlefield because of there potentially being a body in the ground? It's not really, for me, as a debate, it's not really the same as a graveyard. A graveyard, no. There is bodies, and the only reason I say I wouldn't personally film a graveyard is because of all the fresh graves and all the most recent graves. So I'm talking, 60, 50 years is still upsetting for some people. A battlefield, technically, just like what Faye's saying, could be a forest right now, or your house. Your own house is probably sat on something that had a battle at some point. Not the same to me. I wouldn't have an issue with going to a battlefield. I've done a couple of battlefields myself. I didn't see the I can't say I can see the difference for me personally.
There is a lot of battlefields up here in Scotland. They are still finding bones and leftovers from I mean, Loudon Hill, for example. That's one that's close to me. That was the battle there was 1307, and that was Robert the Bruce's first major battle against the English that he won. But they're still finding bones and shit running about there. So I mean, it's true what Faye says. Anyway, you could go walk through a forest and that's probably been used as a battleground at some point. So
exactly.
Sorry, can I just respond to Corinne? No, you can't. You're not going to put me in a hole. I'll put you in one, you little meh.
Oh, bless. So Derek Green says he's got 2 pit disasters where they are, and they still have bodies in the ground.
Yeah, exactly the same down here in the Welsh valleys, to be quite honest. Well, then now it's actually classed as a grave.
Absolutely. Karen Philpott says there's millions of years of history. People die. There could be one under your house, in the park, anywhere and everywhere. Absolutely. I'm hoping there's a dinosaur under my house, and then I can say, hey, Trish, I found a ghost dinosaur.
Yeah, get her up here to an EVP. What would she get on it, though? I mean, I love that post when she said, why anybody ever picked up a dinosaur? Well, what would you get on an EVP? Do how do you translate it?
Barney the dinosaur.
Yeah.
So, guys in the chat room, last question then of the evening. How are you all feeling since COVID has hit us within the paranormal field? And has it made you assess maybe your contribution? Are you thinking about not doing it anymore, or has it just spurred you to want to do more? How are you all feeling at the moment in the chat room tonight?
Or has it been nice to have a break?
Oh, no, I've missed all my friends, DJ. I can't cope. I don't have a life other than work.
Listen, it's been great for me because I've had near enough a year without being pestered by a certain madwoman from Bristol. So I've had it brilliant. I
have to say, though, I have made some lovely new friends. So Steve's one of them. Bless his little heart. He puts up with me, guys. He's stuck with me now. But I have made some really good... I have made some great friends. I really have.
That's the good thing about me. I've been away for the paranormal for quite a while, and then when I come back into it, came across Dead Ends. I hadn't heard of you until I came into that live that night. And now, I mean, both of you have became really good friends with him. We both, Kelly, you and me talking just about every day. I mean, CG every other day. I mean, it's nice to meet people that have got the kind of like same opinions, even if you don't agree, kind of things. It's nice, and I mean, I'm glad I come back to the paranormal because I've met some new friends and I've met some new people that I can't wait to meet. That's what the investigations and that start again. I'm looking forward to kind of traveling down south and meeting you guys. So it's especially just now because I mean, obviously, it's still quite raw. I lost my job and stuff, so I'm going to go back out and I'm going to start doing my live feeds again. I'm going to use it as a bit of kind of mental health kind of reprieve to try and help my head a wee bit because I'm really not the last few days I've really not felt myself, so I'm going to use that as a spring to make me feel a bit better. So I'm going to start doing and exploring from places. I mean, I've not till I find another job. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go and explore and find new places.
Yeah, good. And you will find.
That's what I'm doing.
But Kelly, since we've done this show, we've gained new people that we know and new friends, loads of people out there. And I've got to be honest, I miss all my old guys that I used to go ghost hunting with. But it's going to be great when everybody gets together because you'll get one big get together and it'll be brilliant. And you'll have a fantastic time. Just got to hang in there a little bit longer. It's not long now before they're on about allowing bigger groups to get in. They're trialing it. So, for those who have stuck to the rules, stuck to the COVID regulations, it soon will all be out there and we'll all be back together again. And I think it'll be brilliant.
Yeah, I can't wait to see everybody. And do you know what, right? I have to say, although I haven't been going out, I feel exactly the same as you and Steve and everybody else in the chat room. I've made some lovely friends and I cannot wait to start investigating. We've had some amazing offers to come out and investigate with people. And I'll be taking up every opportunity that's thrown my way within my power, obviously with me working as well. It can be hard sometimes. But so most people in here are saying that they've missed it. That they're looking forward to getting back to it properly. Karen Philpott, bless her, has lost a little bit of her mojo. Oh, bless her.
Don't worry, you'll find it.
You will. Kerry has said, I've just merged with another paranormal group, so looking forward to it. Show Para Unity. Karen Blythe, how COVID affected me has made me appreciate so much I took for granted. I don't need haircuts, waxing, or nails. Now I resemble Stig of the Dump. Jane Rowley, being in isolation for 12 months has really spurred me on. Done lots of research and planning and have now launched the Demon Files at Harpic. A 2-year project, done 3 sessions already and really looking forward to completing the project and putting it in a book. Well, Jane, you have been through so much, and if anybody deserves it, babe, it's absolutely you. You keep your chin up, and we're all behind the scenes supporting you, okay? So if you guys 100%. Don't know... Yeah, if you guys don't know what HARPIC is, HAPRC, that's Haunted Antiques Paranormal Research Centre. They have lives pretty much every day. So if you go onto the Haunted Antiques Paranormal Research Centre page, you will be able to see their lives, as I said, on a daily basis. Sometimes there's even 2, usually starts from about 7 o'clock in the evening. So please drop them a line, go and have a look. Carol Hardin says, I only found my interest in the paranormal due to COVID, with all the shielding and furlough. So much time on my hands. Paranormal teams have been my salvation, but a whole new world has opened up to me and many new friends. Wow, that's brilliant.
That's wicked. Yeah, that's great.
That's a kind of story I like hearing that. That's really nice to hear, that one.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people, they have, regardless of who they watch, what they watch and how they watch it and where they watch it, a lot of people have, they have utilised paranormal teams to get them going throughout lockdown.
Oh, there's Nanny Lynn has just said that I've been very, very down and I have to keep busy. I miss my friends. Well, it's all going to come back together soon. So just hang in there, just a little bit longer. That's all. everybody will be able to go out and see everybody, and it's going. And as I said, it's going to be brilliant. When you get together and you haven't seen somebody for so long. I know what my crazy lot are going to be like when we all get together. It's going to be crazy, and it'll be fun. It'll be great, and it'll be just what the doctor ordered. And some of them are in the chat room now, like Marie and all that. We all used to go out and meet up and do investigations. We haven't for so long, but it'll be crazy when we do get back together and get out investigating properly again. And I look forward to that. That's what keeps me going. Is looking forward to that.
I think it's going to be our time as well, isn't it, CJ? We haven't done much investigating with each other, have we? So
no.
I think
true. Yeah. We've only done it once, twice.
Maybe 2 times at the Jamaica Inn. I think once at the Jamaica Inn, and
that's right.
I think we might have went to a prison.
We went to prison, yeah. Well, we went to prison. Well, we investigated that. I think that was Shepton Mallet.
No, I think it was was it Shrewsbury?
I don't know.
Corinne will correct us. I don't know.
Oh, she'll be in like a ferret. Let me tell you. It was this. She's like a walking dictionary. Honest to God, that woman.
Kim Day, she says, over the last few months of lockdown, I've been digging a tunnel from my room to the kebab shop.
Nice one, kid.
David Gordon says, COVID has meant Corinne has had more time on her hands. Be afraid. Be very afraid.
I'll tell you, she has way too much time on her hands. We do try to keep her busy, but...
Oh, yes, Nanny Lynn, absolutely.
She's like an octopus. She's hands everywhere.
Marie's telling us it was Gloucester.
It's in Gloucester. Thank you, Marie.
Well, anyway, listen, guys, it's been a great evening.
One place in England. I've only ever been to Morecambe Winter Gardens. I've never been anywhere else.
Do you know, somebody once told me that is a place to go to investigate if it's still open. Is Morecambe Winter Gardens? I don't know. There was a friend of mine raving about it.
Wow, it was on.
It was good. It was interesting.
All right.
It's got to be done.
Even.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks ever so much, guys, for coming in this evening. Look, we made the best of it. Again, we will be live on the 19th of May. You lucky, lucky people. But this time we are going to be covering
a T-shirt.
Oh, yes. And Steve has got a T-shirt.
Guys,
10,000 of these. I need to get off of him. They want some 10 of each.
He's got 10,000 he needs to sell.
Can I just come in? Can I just say that from us, our condolences to Mike, as Mike has lost his brother over the weekend as consequences of lockdown. We're sorry to hear that, Mike, and our thoughts are with you and your family, mate.
Absolutely.
Condolences to your family,
my darling. Yeah. Oh,
bless. Stay strong, man. Stay strong.
And we're always here, so if you need to chat anytime, drop us a line.
Yeah.
It's all confidential. We won't say anything to anybody. Oh, bless you. Okay, and on that note, guys, take care of each other. It doesn't matter whether you agree or disagree. Do it in an adult way and stay friends.
Yeah,
okay,
exactly.
But keep talking. It's really healthy. Anyway, it's good night from me.
And it's good night from her. No, her. That way. She's that way. That way. I don't know.
Good night from Steve.
And another thing, thanks to Steve for coming on as well for the chat tonight.
Absolutely, it's always good to see.
I didn't even know what was coming on. I just came in to say hello, and then I get brought in, so it's quite happy.
We've paid him 50 quid. He is on here. He's getting paid.
It's his new job, isn't it?
Well, my new job's booze bag.
Booze bag. Listen, everybody, look after yourselves. Take care, all right? And we shall see you all on the 19th of May. Bye.
If we don't see you before on a flashcast.
Oh, you never know.